Today's video probably looks like a random pile of stuff, like what is she gonna talk about today? But today's topic is fall must-haves. Fall weather, fall season to me is very cozy. It's when the weather starts getting cold. You want to stay warm, but you also just want to feel like the holidays are coming up. It just kind of has an energy to it where like the pumpkin everything, and like Thanksgiving is really nice with the holidays, then Christmas or Hanukkah, whatever it is that you celebrate. So I feel like it's the kickoff to the holidays. So one thing I associate with that is baking, like baking, time with family and friends. You can send baked goods to either people you love or when you have people over. It's also just something kind of fun to do like on the weekends with your family. So I like to always make sure that I have like baking essentials. This might look a little bit different for a vegan versus someone that doesn't need a vegan diet, but for me, there's a few different things I like to have. Like number one is like all the different kinds of flour. So this is not super fancy because I obviously use these. I have a few different kinds. This is an oat flour. This is almond meal and almond flour. This one is a coconut flour. Obviously flour is vegan, doesn't matter if you're vegan or not, but I like to have these because they keep it a little bit healthier. And obviously when you're baking, you're gonna be adding sugar and sweeteners and sometimes chocolate chips, and the holidays can get a little bit unhealthy as it is. So having these just really helps to kind of find that balance where you're not completely avoiding everything and you're still able to indulge in these things with your family, because I think a big part of baking isn't just eating the food, it's like the whole ritual you do with your family or friends. So I really like to have all of these different kinds of flours. I will say I find that oat kind of has the best consistency. And just so you know, these are literally just like almond flour is just almond meal. So you could blend almonds. Really have to get them to a fine powder. Same thing with oats. If you wanted to make your own oat flour, you could just take like rolled oats and put them in the blender and get them really small. This just has it in a really perfect consistency. So whatever, works for you. Another thing I like to make sure I have is cacao powder. This is a huge one from Thrive Market. I think just having this on hand, you can add into pancake batter, you can add into cookies. It gives it that chocolatey flavor without having any processed chocolate. And this is really good because I think it's also important to keep our immunity high and keep us healthy during the holidays because of all the traveling we're doing and the unhealthy food we might be eating. Making sure that you're adding in like really amazing superfoods honestly really does help. I know we might think it not. Cacao is such a high antioxidant food, like higher than berries, which I love to give that comparison because we always think like blueberries, antioxidants, but cacao is actually higher. It's one of the healthiest foods. It naturally has no sugar. So it's honestly a no-brainer to just add into any batter that you want. When it comes to sweetening, I really like monk fruit. I like monk fruit and stevia. You do have to check, whatever recipe you're looking up, I don't know this because I'm not a great baker, but look up the equivalent of like monk fruit to sugar or stevia to sugar and make sure that you're adding it because they are a little sweeter than regular sugar. So you want to definitely add less, but they all probably have their own ratios so you can add. Another sweetener that I like is coconut nectar. So this is if you're using a liquid sweetener. This one, if you're, let's say the recipe calls for like a maple syrup or an agave, I really like coconut nectar because the glycemic index is lower, so it doesn't spike your blood sugar as high. And it actually has a lot of great minerals. So it's overall like a healthier food in general where you're gonna get health benefits and not just sweetening. So I kind of like to hit both ends of that. Also, if you guys wanna know more on my favorite sweeteners, I have a YouTube video on my favorite sugar alternatives. So I can link that below and you can see for like a more detailed explanation, and both of these are included in there. So chia seeds. This one is majorly important to have in your house when you want to bake for the holidays because this is gonna be your best egg replacement. You can also do an egg replacement with flax. I personally like it better with chia. It kind of gets that jelly consistency when you mix it with water. The way to make an egg replacement for chia seed is 1 tablespoon chia seed, 3 tablespoons water. That will give you like 1 egg. So basically 1 part, 3 part. You let it sit for 5 to 10 minutes. It gets kind of thicker and jelly, and then it kind of helps hold, whatever you are making, like hold it together. So this is a great one to have. And the best thing about all of these is that they don't go bad. Just keep them in there. Like you never know like who's gonna come over, family wants to do something. It's good like spur of the moment stuff where you don't have to run to the store. And this is just baking powder, self-explanatory. I mean, a lot of recipes call for this, so I've probably had this in here for a little too long, so I might need to replace this one because I don't bake that often. Now let's get into some spices and, well, coconut oil. Coconut oil is one I love to have. You can use any kind of oil, but I noticed a lot, at least when I was a kid, we would use vegetable oil. And I think we've just learned things in terms of what's healthier and what's not. And now we know that, vegetable oil isn't the healthiest to cook with. I really like coconut oil because not only is it good for greasing a pan for cookies or for pancakes because it gives off this really amazing coconutty like flavor, but also it can be used as a butter replacement. If someone is watching this who's an amazing chef, might be cringing that maybe it's not the exact same consistency. I've found for any recipe I've done that I really like it as a butter replacement, and it's completely fine. So I do love a little coconut oil. When it comes to spices, there's two that I forgot one. Hold on. Grab it out of my spices. That's the most important, cinnamon. By the way, guys, I label all of my spices on the top. I bought these labels on Amazon for like $3 or something, and it makes it so much better because you can see everything when you're reaching into your cabinet. So it took me like 5 minutes and it saves me a lot of time. Cinnamon is a staple that I have all year round, but especially for the holidays. You even know like cinnamon sticks, cinnamon candles, it just puts you in the mood. So adding this to any batter or recipe will really, really help. I also really think you should try adding it into your tea or coffee. It will just give you a little extra like holiday vibe. Nutmeg, I think, is one people don't take advantage of enough. It also has that kind of holiday flavor. A lot of great health benefits too from nutmeg and cinnamon, like antioxidants, really good for regulating your blood sugar. So there's things you can get from spices where they're not just there to flavor. That's actually what I love about spices. They're there for the health benefit too. At pretty much everything but salt, we can get a little bit of, better benefit from adding a lot of. And then my absolute favorite spice of all time is the Trader Joe's pumpkin pie spice. I actually have another one in the drawer. This is a new one I got. It's basically a blend of cinnamon, ginger, lemon peel, nutmeg, cloves, and cardamom. So we have some of it right here, but if you don't want to have all the different spices and you just want like a one and done, this is a really amazing one to have. I also wanted to share this for anyone Middle Eastern who might be watching this video, or maybe not even. This is what fresh cardamom seed looks like. This spice is actually included in the pumpkin pie spice. A lot of people don't see cardamom, like you don't see it as common, I feel like, to buy just a spice on its own. But what we do with this is take these little seeds and you can actually brew it with your tea. And let me just tell you, it's, oh my God, it actually makes me think of Iran, which is like so interesting. The smell of it can just bring you back to something. I absolutely love it. So you can find everything on Amazon. I'll try to find a link to this, but this is a Persian brand, so maybe not this one specifically, but it's a really, really great spice and it's actually really good for you. So I would recommend kind of experimenting with this one. Another thing I would recommend is any kind of like yummy like tea mix, chai latte mix. This one is just a Four Sigmatic mocha mushroom mix. These are really great. Like a nice warm drink is so nice around the holidays, and especially when it's cold outside. I always find if I have anything tedious to do or anything I don't feel like doing, having like a cozy drink just makes it 10 times better. Even having like a chai spice mix, which I can link some below this video. There's some great, great ones. I don't like getting chai lattes out because 90% of the time they are just like mixed with a syrup when they're not just actually chai latte spices. So I would always ask when you go out to see, because I like to at least know what I'm drinking. But these ones are really good, and I'll link some chai latte ones below. This is just, my banana looks a little brown on the outside. This is an example of fruit that's in season. So one thing you should try to do all year round is focus on fruit that's in season and that's meant to be grown at that time. Anything that's natural in its natural state is going to be healthier. The soil's healthier, it's growing how it's intended to be. Also, if it's not in season, most of the time they have to get it shipped from out of state. Who knows where it's coming from. So just the traveling and everything, you're just not getting it as fresh as it could. So trying to really focus on fruit in season will actually get you more nutrients. Apples are the most amazing. I'm obsessed with Pink Lady apples. They're my favorite thing. Even just slicing one and putting a little cinnamon on it is amazing. Sometimes I'll put it in a little bit of oatmeal, which I know I don't usually mix fruit with things, but it doesn't matter. Bananas are great on top of toast with like a little bit of cinnamon or any of these spices. So focus on fruit in season. So next is just a little bit of wardrobe fun I wanted to share. There is nothing like a big scarf in the fall time. You know, I live in LA, so it doesn't even get that cold here, but it does get like breezy where we need like light layers. And these scarves, I actually have 2 of them. I bought these from H&M almost 2 or 3 years ago now. They're big, as you can see. They almost feel like more of like a pashmina sort of thing. You can kind of like wrap it around and use it almost more like a jacket. And it's obviously doesn't go with a sweater, but it's really chic and it can keep you warm, and it's just like a little jacket alternative. It can also go, like you can bring it inside instead of a coat if you don't want to have a big bulky coat inside of a restaurant. I travel with these all the time because I hate traveling with a big coat. Obviously it's like annoying to hold, and these are just so big, they're almost like blankets. The amount of compliments I've gotten on these, especially if you're just in like a simple white t-shirt and jeans and you just kind of throw this over, it's really very chic. So I will try to find similar ones. I don't know if H&M still makes these, but I live for scarves in the fall. And one more thing I wanted to recommend before I end this video, for anyone that doesn't maybe live in LA or somewhere that's really sunny all year round, is maybe thinking about a vitamin D supplement. A lot of us are vitamin D deficient all year round anyway, even including myself, because I don't like to go in the sun. I avoid it. I love it, but I sit in the shade so it doesn't ruin my skin. But you know, being deficient in vitamin D, if you're not getting enough, can really lower your energy, and that combined with like the gray weather, and if it's colder outside, I think a lot of this can sometimes lead to seasonal depression. So, you know, if you have your yearly checkup, or if you can get a blood test, see if you're deficient, or maybe even just talk to your doctor about adding in a vitamin D supplement. I do really like drops in general. I think liquid absorbs quicker, so you could find a great brand and work with your doctor on what dose. I don't want to recommend a specific dose because I think that's, you know, personal to you, and I don't know your medical background, but it's definitely something to consider. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little video. This is different than a lot of my other videos, but I thought it was fun for the fall season. If you have any questions on any of this stuff, let me know. I'll link as much as I can below. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.